the setting of Egypt was a setting that we've always wanted to do, but there was always the technological challenge of building a country. Normally AC we have cities. In Black Flag we learned how to build a bigger world, but this world was filled with water and islands. And when we finished Black Flag, we felt that we were at a point where we can technologically push ourselves to be able to build one massive countryside that's contiguous. We pushed ourselves even further to say no more loading when you enter the major cities. If you're entering a city, you should be able to enter from whichever direction, the main gates, underwater, through the caves, go straight in through whichever entrance you want, because it adds to the immersiveness of the game. This is a technological challenge, but from an experience point of view, you are never broken from that experience. You could be in a village fighting with some enemies on ground, and that fight could naturally transition into being on horseback, riding through the wilderness, the deserts, the lush foliage of the Nile Delta, without having to hit a loading screen or to stop. And so we've pushed ourselves to make sure that Egypt is represented, all its biomes, all its fauna, all the animals, and that the player is constantly in that experience without loading screens and so on. So yes, it's been a technological challenge, but the world is now absolutely beautiful. We have amazing artists and technical engineers and tech artists who have made the world beautiful, and I'm super thrilled that we can showcase their work. When we started and we were looking at Egypt and how to fill Egypt and put content that's valuable for the player, one of the learnings that we had made from Black Flag was that we had a good sense of exploration, but we should improve the sense of discovery. And discovery meaning that when you go somewhere to explore it, that you actually find things that are meaningful to you as a player, whether that be gameplay meaningful stuff or narratively or lore of the world, but it always should be meaningful to the player, that you always feel surprised, rewarded for your efforts. And so that was an early intention, and then it was, how do you fill a world of this size, of this scope, where we're constantly rewarding that effort of exploration. And this is what we've been doing for the last 4 years, filling this world. So yes, if you see an entrance to a cave, go inside of it. I guarantee you there's cool stuff in there, and surprising stuff as well. The pyramids, the tombs, these were places that we had an opportunity to create a more crafted experience, built off of the actual architecture that we know from those locations. Of course, with our own lore, with hidden chambers that have not been found yet. But we found a way to integrate our lore into that. But again, it's a crafted experience that you can just stumble upon, find really amazing hidden stuff, and feel rewarded for it. So that was a really important intention, to make sure that Egypt really comes to life and that we have our players completely lost in this world for as long as we can have them. Transitioning to quests, I think, was a perfect move. Having the RPG elements is very important for us. The world itself is incredible. I think the world itself, Egypt, is a star. It shines. I think it's one of the greatest open worlds we've ever built. I'm super proud of this world and our talented team that put it together. Personally, for me, it's the combat system. It's something that we always try in AC to bring something new, something fresh. And here we fundamentally challenge ourselves to bring something drastically different, changing our paradigm of how we think about combat. I love what we've achieved. It's allowed us to do things like have boss fights in the world, have tons of unique boss fights, and we found that balance of making sure that the people who don't necessarily love combat, and that's okay, if you're a stealth player, that's great, that there are ways to manage the system within that. So I'm super proud of that. The team has done an amazing job. I'm proud of them. The fight is super fun. Personally, for me, that's what I love. I think the world is incredible too. People are going to fall in love with the world, but gameplay-wise, the combat system is awesome.